Patrol members be advised. A street racer has just been reported eastbound past Diamond Park, requesting you to head up.
Hello, this is Nikhil Alexander speaking. This is a study for the crimes that have happened in Boston between the years of 2015 and 2018. Our project provides an overview of the criminal property injustices in Boston and an in-depth view of the highest crime prevalent area in Boston, Massachusetts, USA. Based on the survey, Boston comprises of 14% of overall crimes happening in the United States. Boston stands at number 53 in the crimes per 100,000 people in the US. We have provided various statistical figures and representations to jog your mind on the various locations and dates that have a higher number of crimes. Hoping this analysis would support the police squad on how to estimate the police department personnel at different districts of Boston. Information with respect to murder and rape has not been included in the study due to lack of data. We understand that you're dedicated to working in partnership with the community to fight criminal injustices. No one is above the law. We plan on providing assistance to improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods of Boston. Now to present you an overview of the crimes of Boston. In this window, to my right, you can find the different districts of Boston have been color-coded and has been noted instantly, such as Downtown, South End, Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, Hyde Road, West Roxbury, and Brighton. To my left, you can find the maximum number of crimes that has happened over the years in Boston, seeing motor vehicle accident response to be the most number of crimes, followed by larceny, medical assistance, investigate person. It has been seen that most of the crimes has been named under other. 18,065 crimes have been named under other where it could have been classified under others. It's a recommendation that the police department categorizes the crimes more efficiently. Now to move on to crime analysis by Apurva Fadnis. Thank you.
Hello, this is Apurva Fadnis. After Nikhil's introduction, I would like to emphasize the study of crime and seasonal crime analysis. First, let me explain more about crime analysis. The bar graph shows that Boston witnessed the highest number of criminal records for the motor vehicle offense type, followed by larceny, medical assistance, and investigate person crimes respectively. The graphs here show some prominent ups and downs which I would like to discuss. The line graph here reveals that most of the crimes were at its peak at 5 p.m. and mostly occurred on Friday. In September 2018, there was a sharp and sudden fall in the number of crimes from 8,342 crimes occurred in August 2015 to 667 crimes occurred in September 2018. Also, there is a sharp rise observed from 4,191 crimes occurred in June 2015 to 8,324 crimes occurred in July 2015. Moving on to seasonal analysis. According to the pie chart, most of the crimes were identified in the summer season. The second highest number of crimes is experienced in spring. The summer accounts for 31.324% of the crimes and fall accounts for 23.805%. Spring and fall almost experience same number of crimes as there is not much of difference in the percentages, whereas winter experience lesser amount of crimes occurred. Top 4 crimes occurred in different seasons are considered here, namely motor vehicle accident response, which describes a hit and run scenario, followed by larceny. Larceny is theft of personal property. Medical assistance is a crime where a person is injured by another person. Investigating person illegally is considered as a crime. There is an interactive dashboard created to understand the analysis done in a better way. For instance, when we pick the category of offense with highest number of records, that is motor vehicle accident response, it can be clearly seen that it is most occurred at 5 p.m. on Fridays, and it was highest in June 2017 and lowest in September 2018. UCR part analysis would be further explained by Apurva Tipre.
Data on the crime in the United States published by the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI). UCR Part 1 crimes are the most intense crimes reported, like murders, rapes, aggravated assaults, and which occur with regularity. UCR Part 2 are less serious crimes than Part 1, like simple assaults, weapon violations, drug trafficking. And the UCR Part 3 crimes has the least severity, which includes crimes like verbal disputes, landlord-tenant disputes, and others. So as we can see, our dashboards is interactive. It gives the detailed idea of exact number of particular crimes took place in the specific district with the intensity of offense. For example, if we select UCR Part 1, we can see that the South End district has the most reported crime, which falls under the category of UCR Part 1. But it is evident from the graph that Roxbury has the most number of crimes, which falls under the category of UCR Part 2 and UCR Part 3, which is comparatively higher than the UCR Part 1 crimes. The heat map indicates the data classification with the help of the color intensity. As the marks heats up due to higher values or the density of records, a more intense color is displayed. It is observable that the map that where more intense red color appears in the Roxbury, the more the number of motor vehicle response crimes are reported. And the area where the color gets less denser, the number of crimes reported were relatively less. As the Roxbury has the highest number of crimes reported, we will be focusing on analysis of crimes in Roxbury, which will be explained by Nikhil.
Hello, this is Nikhil here. So as previously Apurva Tipre mentioned that she gave an overview about the UCR analysis, where where Boston is divided into different districts, and each district has a UCR part where the crimes have been recorded. Like there are 3 UCR parts. One is UCR Part 1, which has the highest severity of crimes, UCR Part 2, which has comparatively less severity of the crimes, and UCR Part 3 that has the least severity of the crimes. So now we'll be as Apurva previously mentioned, the UCR parts in UCR Part 2 and UCR Part 3, the highest number of criminal records were recorded in Roxbury district, and over the years from 2015 to 2018, the maximum number of crime attacks or criminal activity has been recorded in Roxbury. So we will be focusing our case on majorly on the Roxbury streetwise analysis of the crimes. So now getting deep into the Roxbury street analysis, here on the left we can see the bar graph which shows the street names and the district is Roxbury. So basically we'll be focusing more on Blue Hill Avenue, Washington Street, Dudley Street, Columbia Road, and Warren Street. So these are the major 5 streets where there have been highest number of criminal activities in Roxbury. So coming to the Blue Hill Avenue, this street we have divided into 3 different parts, saying in part 1 of the UCR part what are the number of crimes. So as we can see here, the number of crimes that occurred in UCR part 1 for Blue Hill Avenue was 619, and when we go to part 2 it is 837 criminal records, and when we go to part 3 there's 1362 criminal records. So let us first focus our case on part 1 criminal activities. So when we click on the part 1 criminal activity on Blue Hill Avenue, we can see that our map on the right in here would focus its would get into the street where exactly the criminal records have been taking place. So when we zoom in on our map in here, we can see that there is a differentiation in the color, showing that the least intense color is showing the less number of crimes, and the higher intensity of the criminal point shows there are more number of crimes occurring at that place. So as we can see in here, we have the highest red color, which indicates the maximum number of crimes at a particular location. So we zoom into that place to see that there are 97 crimes that have occurred at that place in Blue Hill Avenue, and these crimes, 97 crimes of UCR Part 1 have occurred on Blue Hill Avenue. So when we click on the location where the number of crimes is 97, the map below in here would redirect us to the particular location where the crime exactly happened. So giving us an overview of how and where exactly the crime had occurred. So as we can see in here, we can see the neighborhood of the place where the crime occurred. Like we have United States Postal Service, then we have rainbow shops and all. So to get a better overview of where exactly the criminal location is, we also can have a satellite view, which gives us an in-depth view of the buildings, and we can just zoom in to see like what our surrounding looks like, and if we want to navigate to that location to see how far we are from that place, we can choose our starting point, or we can just or if we know if any of our officers or if any of our teammates are on the same street, we can give them direction, saying if that person is at this position, that means he's at a walking distance of 4 minutes, that is 0.2 miles. If a person has to be more specific on how he has to get to that place, and when he gets to that place, he shouldn't be lost, so that we have the built-in feature of Google Maps where we can drop a person to that exact location to see how the surrounding looks like. So when he gets there, without any fuss, he would be able to see how it looks like and what his surroundings are. So this is how Google Maps really helps us to get to know the exact location of the crime.
Hi, I'm Priyanka. I'll be throwing light on the Roxbury Drugs Trafficking Analysis Dashboard. From Roxbury Drugs Analysis Graph, it is evident that the record crime of Class A and Class B drugs are higher than any other class of drugs registered, with cocaine possession taking the lead, which is Class B drug. Among cocaine and heroin, if we consider crimes registered for drugs trafficking exceeding 18 grams of each, then for cocaine, the following is observed from the Class B graph. The top 3 likelihood areas where the cocaine can be attempted to sell over 18 grams would be Dudley Street, followed by Washington and Blue Hill. As the drug crimes are relatively higher in these streets, yet none has attempted to sell in bulk quantity. Since there is a demand, the supply is to be expected. Warren Street also has a greater potential and hence shouldn't be ignored as well. Similarly for heroin, Dudley Street, Washington and Blue Hill are still the top 3 areas of likelihood, but Gerrard Road and Columbia Road also have to be kept an eye out for. On the whole, it would be beneficial if the anti-drug department devotes their major force on Dudley, Washington, Blue Hill streets followed by Gerrard, Columbia Road and Warren streets in order to seize any potential drug selling activities.
As Priyanka mentioned earlier, drugs and substance abuse seem to play a major role in increasing crime rate, including suicide. We are putting forward the implication that the location of high drug use can cut off or decrease the number of motor vehicle accident response crimes by at least half if efficient action is taken on drugs, not just in the state of Roxbury but in Boston as a whole. Although Boston proves to be one of the safest places in the USA to stay, with the least number of deaths in the last 5 years, Boston still stands at number 53 in the safest places to stay, according to a study. We believe that the Boston has resources and capabilities to rise up the ranks to be one of the top safest places to live in the United States. We hope this study provided a glance at the criminal statistics that are happening in and around the cities of Boston, and would recommend the Boston Police Department, especially the Roxbury officials, to take command of the various crimes mentioned earlier to build a peaceful neighborhood. Thank you and have a nice day.